Salawam Akim. Call Halal Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Sai Bahashem Ha Rakar Kadas. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who rule well and taught me this truth. And peace and salutation to your Akim across the four corners of the globe, preaching his gospel in truth and sincerity. 2nd Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. All right, you about to see some horrible things that's about to happen on this earth. One thing I want to highlight is that Russia has just put some type of satellite in the atmosphere, and then they shot something else out of that. All right. And one thing that came to mind, and I speak as a man, is an electrical magnetic pulse. All right? And I'm going to definitely go into that definition and elaborate on what that could do to the electrical grid in Babylon. And Babylon means America. I'm going to play a little of this video. I'm going to come back with a definition of an electrical magnetic pulse, and we'll go from there.
This is Dabu 7. We're now getting word that Russia is suspected of launching an object in space. They're saying that they conducted a space-based anti-satellite test. They also say that at another time in the past, they were tracking U.S. satellites, and they released an object, some sort of projectile, they say, into space in a move mimicking a suspected anti-satellite weapons test. So, I'm here to tell y'all, with this announcement, this begins. You can say, oh, there's been weapons there, there's been lasers, there's been all this crap, it don't exist, all this crap, and argue over it. Or you can look at the fact that someone just finally admitted that they're launching projectiles from this area, from subspace. They may not be able to get out past the Van Allen belts and all this other stuff, but damn it, they can get up in the ring where these satellites are whirling around. We can get space balloons up into that territory with cameras, for crying out loud. So we know that you can at least get to there. Okay? And in the midst of all this, they're firing weapons. Now, do you think that Russia's the only country that has this capability? They could really be setting up for a big-time show in the offing. As I've said in other videos, it looks like they're setting the stage in subspace for a big event. Being thrown in there, everything we've been waiting for. You see, if the fallen ones are here, and the bad guys are already here and locked down, then it ain't the bad guys coming. So, when they try to tell you this, when they try to tell you something's coming, you better remember, they're already here. I'm going to break this down further on D-Live. You're missing a lot over there. If you're not catching these live streams, the gloves come off, and we talk about the things we can only talk about over there. So, I'll leave links below. This has been Dabu 7. Eyes to the skies.
Alright, as you can see, man, hey, Russia's not playing with America. They're getting ready for war. And also, you know, America got that space program for war in space, because they know that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Sai is coming back. 2nd Ezra 13 and 6. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain. That great mountain is the chariot that Yahweh Sai is going to be on when he comes back, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place whereout the hill was graven, and I could not. Why? Because the chariot that Yahweh Sai is coming back in is going to be so big, hey, you're not going to be able to tell the end from the beginning. All right? And after this, I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were so afraid. And these nations, they're gathering together in the Middle East to go to war. But Yahweh is going to come back and in the midst of them in war, and they're going to fight against Yahweh. All right? That's why they got all this shit up there, all these space stations up there. They're going to try to escape to those space stations They're also going to try to shoot nukes on the chariots. All right, that's why they're putting all of that war stuff up there. And also, they can release a electrical magnetical pulse to do a little sneak attack on America. All right, to take all of the electrical grid out, and I'm gonna get into that a little more. I just wanted to bring this out because these guys are preparing for war, not just against the Americans, all right, but also against Yahweh Basim Yahweh Sai. Yahweh is the Most High, and Yahweh Sai is His Son, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. All right. Verse 8, and after this I beheld, and lo, all that which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid. Yeah, all these nations, Russia, China, America, Britain, all of them going to be afraid when Yahushua comes on the scene in that big chariot in which they call unidentified craft. All right, which we know they are chariots. They're vehicles of the Heavenly Father, vehicles of the angels. All right, and yet there's fight. So these men are going to be super afraid, but the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahweh is going to put a spirit on them for them to fight against the Lord and Savior, okay? Yahweh, what you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Verse 9, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire. All right, that blast of fire is when the chariot opened up and shoot that beam of fire on your ass. All right, laser beams, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. All right, and that's them laser beams. A good movie to look up is Independence Day. Okay, remember when they were on the roof and they seen that big blue thing, big blue beam, and they were like, "Oh, what is it?" And then fucking the laser beam came out of it and killed them all. That's what this is talking about. Another movie to look at is Wars of the World. I think Tom Cruise is in there. I can't really think of it right now. But Tom Cruise was in it, and it was Wars of the War, Salakia. But those two movies are a good movie to look up to see what this is talking about. All right, and all right. So these people are gonna be super afraid, but they're gonna fight because the Lord's gonna put the Spirit on them. All right, and the Yahweh is gonna be shooting beams out of these chariots and turning these people into dust. Verse 10, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flame of breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight. See, hey, when Yahweh comes back, you people are going to die violently over there in the Middle East. Okay? He's about to get busy, and them laser beams going to be turning your ass into dust. And burn them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid, all right? Because this is a very, 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 very scary time. And there's all those armies are gathering in the Middle East, all right, to go against America, all right, and to go to war with each other. And guess what? In the midst of that, Yahweh is going to come back and get busy. And all you're going to see is dust and smell of smoke. When I saw it, I was afraid. Ezra was hella afraid of that. Right? So, it's a few things that they're preparing for. War with America, and also war with Yahweh Basim Yahweh Sai, man. And all of this, you can see, is coming together, man. All right, now let me get to this electrical magnetic pulse. Because through the Spirit, I perceive that they're going to set off a EMP in the air, and they're gonna it's gonna knock the electrical grid off in Babylon, which is America. So this is a definition from Wikipedia. All right. It says an electrical magnetic pulse, EMP, also sometimes called a transit electrical magnetic disturbance. Why? Because it disturbs the electric. All right. The electric currents. All right. It stops it. All right. Is a sharp burst of electrical magnetic energy. Such a pulse origin may be a natural occurrence of or man-made and can occur as a radiant electric or magnetic field or a conducted electric current depending on the source. EMP interference is generally disruptive or damaging to electronic equipment, meaning your cars, everything in your house is ran off as electricity. The sewers is ran off electricity. The gas station is ran off electricity. And once this EMP is let off, all of that stops. So there's no water, no lights, okay, no gas, no more getting gas from those pumps. Everything stops. It's going to throw the whole America into total chaos. And at higher energy levels, a powerful EMP event such as a lightning strike can damage physical objects such as buildings and aircraft structures. The management of EMP effects is an important branch of electromagnetic capability, EMC engineering. Weapons have been developed to deliver the damaging effects on high energy EMPs. So hey, all they have to do is set off an EMP in the atmosphere above America, and everything down here in America is going to be fried, throwing you people in total chaos, man. Going to be total chaos, man. Total calamity. All right? So that's what you got going on, man. Everything is about to come to a head shortly. Okay? This is the time that we're living in. Right? Habakkuk 2:1. I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower. Okay? A person who stands on his watch and is on the tower is watching for danger. Okay? And now we're the watchmen over Israel. So we are commanded to break down these scriptures and filter what's going on in the world through these scriptures. Okay? And will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And hey, what we're gonna do, hey, is preach this gospel and preach these prophecies, man. All right. And the Lord Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision, all right, the vision of the prophecies, and make it plain upon table. The tables is the Bible, that he may run that readeth it. So we get the understanding of these scriptures, all right. We learn the scriptures, we get the understanding of the scriptures, and then we look out into the world and see what's going on that's relevant with the scriptures, and then we filter it through the scriptures, okay? Verse 3, for the vision, all right, these prophecies is yet for a appointed time, these end time prophecies, but at the end it shall speak. And as you can see, all of these nations are preparing to go to war with Babylon, all right? And also preparing to go to war with Yahushua. And not lie, all right? This example of Russia shooting that satellite in the air, that's not a lie, man. All these intercontinental ballistic missiles that Russia has, the Satan 1, the Satan 2, the sickle, okay? Man, they got so many intercontinental ballistic missiles. Hey, they can destroy America just themselves. But as we know, many nations are going to shoot intercontinental ballistic missiles on Babylon. All right, and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it. And this is what the saints are patiently waiting for: the end of Esau's age and the beginning of our age. Okay, the beginning of Yahweh Shai's kingdom. All right, because that kingdom is going to be played out on earth. That's going to be the kingdom of heaven on earth. All right, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And as you can see, these prophecies are coming at a rapid pace. They're all happening simultaneously. All right, because Yahweh Bashim Yahweh is visiting this place. He's visiting this place. He's visiting this world, man. And the closer he gets, the more contraction this bitch have, like a woman who's pregnant. The closer she get to having birth, the more contractions she has, right? And that's what we're in. We're in the stage of contraction, because guess what? Yahweh is on his way back, man. All right. Second Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. That's what we're doing. We're looking at the news and we're measuring the time based off of these prophecies, man. And that's how we know how close Yahweh Bashim Yahweh is. And it was prophesied that you would have earthquakes, rumors of wars, wars, pestilence, and all of this stuff is happening now. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, because Yahweh Bashim Yahweh revealed his mysteries unto the prophets, and now we break it down so that the elect can be converted back to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh, and all you other nations can know your judgment. All right, 2/3 you're gonna die on this side and come back into the kingdom, reborn with a clean slate, and you're gonna be perfect. And Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, Ammon, Ishmael, all you different other nations, y'all gone into slavery for 1,000 years. All right. And after that 1,000 years, Esau, your whole bloodline is going to get killed off. All right. And all you other nations are going to go back to your lands, and you're going to be very happy. Okay. Because the righteous are going to be in authority. All right. The real Luciferians on the right hand side, light bearers. All right. The elect. All right. The men of the Lord. We're going to be in power. Okay. Starting with Yahweh Shai. All right. And we're joint heirs with him. Okay. Verse 2. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So Yahweh is visiting the world. All right. Verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes, all right, and we got earthquakes in diverse places. Hold on, let me see how many earthquakes we got right now, because I've been wanting to talk about earthquakes. Now I gotta find my earthquake thing. Come on, man. Earthquake. All these fucking earthquakes. Okay, here we go. I just didn't know where it was. Alright. Just the earthquake app, man. So, let's go back. You got earthquake in Spain. Okay. Earthquake in Warner Spring, California. Look at all these earthquakes over here in California. Look at this shit. Can't make this shit up. Look at this. All of these are earthquakes. Okay? Earthquakes. All of these are earthquakes. Okay? Let me go back to that. How you get back to it? I'm going to just go down the list of some other earthquakes. Come on, man. That we got going on, all right? 23 minutes ago, Spain had an earthquake. 26 minutes ago, California had an earthquake, 1.49. All right? Lake Mammoth in California had an earthquake. All right? Spain again. Nevada had an earthquake. Look at all these earthquakes. Now, these are minor earthquakes, but look at this one. 49-mile SW of Nicaragua, Cuba. Cuba just had a 5.1 earthquake. You see all this? This is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai visiting this place, shaking everything up. All hell is about to break out on earth. Okay? That's what time we're living in. Alright? So it says, therefore when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And you got mass uproars all over the world. I'm just going to show you one over here in Babylon, right? Because there are a big uproar in Oregon, Okay, let's look at Seattle though. Something telling me to look at Seattle. So let's look at Seattle right quick. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go, something right here. I'm gonna just narrow it down to the last hour. Okay. Let's go for today. Let's see. All right, preparing for riots in Seattle and Olympia, Washington. Okay. Oh, let's look at this. Let's see what's going on. This is an example of civil unrest around the world. This is just one place in America called Seattle, Washington. Look at they beating them. They beating in the door. They're beating in the windows to businesses. All right, because these people are unhappy the way these rulers, the king of Babylon, Trump is running it. They're unhappy with this place. So guess what? They're fucking tearing things apart. This is Seattle, Washington. We haven't even looked at Oregon, Portland yet. Okay? This is an example of how about sitting outside, destroying this place and visiting this place. Now you got federal officers.
A limited number of federal agents are now on standby to protect federal buildings if protests this weekend get out of control. That's the word from Seattle Mayor Jenny Durkin, who tweeted that she had talked to the leaders at the Department of Homeland Security, telling them that the presence of federal officers could threaten public safety. King 5's Amy Moreno is live in downtown Seattle this morning, and this is something the mayor and the governor don't want, right?
Yeah, well, they have both told the Department of Homeland Security that a federal tactical team is not needed to deal with protests here in Seattle and could potentially undermine community trust. And the New York Times is reporting that the Trump administration has deployed officers to be on standby outside the city ahead of expected protests this weekend. While Mayor Jenny Durkin describes it as a limited number of agents, the mayor said she sent a letter to the acting Secretary of Homeland Security, Mike Wolf, and he said DHS has no plans to send federal forces to Seattle. The concern is the federal response team could be similar to those currently in Portland, where city leaders also said federal officers were not needed. Governor Inslee said the same thing is also true for Seattle.
The federal government needs not to inflame this situation. We all want to have peace, and we want peaceful protests, which are legitimate and important in this moment. But we don't want to see things that would make the thing worse and throw gasoline on a fire.
And back out here live in downtown Seattle, this is actually the West Precinct. You can see they have put up some very substantial cement barricades outside it. It is also boarded up in the windows behind it. Mayor Durkin also tweeted yesterday that the acting Secretary Wolf committed to notifying both her and Police Chief Carmen Best if something changes, and they do plan to deploy those officers. Right now, we're trying to find out how many agents are actually on standby for this weekend. We're live in downtown.